What's up everyone, we are back in RPG Maker MV, and in this episode we're going to be going over map creation. So we're not going to be going over events, but rather just the creation of our world. So to get started here, we're going to be going over how to create a map and how to edit a map. So over here you can see we have our project, which is tutorial. Then under that we have map 001, and that's the current map that we are on. We can right click that to get a bunch of options. We can go to the edit button, and in here is a whole bunch of different settings. So right here is name map 001. Now that is the name of the map that's on our hierarchy here, that we can see, we know which map we're on. We can name it to a descriptive thing that we want it. Then next to that we have a display name here. And what a display name is that when our player enters this map, whatever's in this display name will show up in the top left hand corner, I believe. And if nothing is in this box, then no name will show up. So this is an internal name and this is an external name that the player will see. Then down here we have Tileset, and right now it's on Overworld. Now what a Tileset is these different graphics things here that we can use to edit our world. And there are 3 tabs here, A, B and C, and they all have different graphics. And what we can do with the edit, we can change from an overworld to say an outside map, and now we have a bunch of different tiles that we can use. And you can create your own custom tiles. So right now these are all the built-in ones that come with RPG Maker MV, and you can see them by going to the database here, and we go down to tile sets here, and as you can see there's 6 built-in ones, and over here you can see the name of them, the mode, which is world type or area type. So these ones here will be area types, then overworld will be world type, and overworld's kind of like a Mario style map where you can go to different points, and yeah. So then you have the images here, and these are the different breakdowns of the tile sets. So as you can see, we've got A here, which is all these here, and then B and C. So you're probably wondering what's the difference. Well, B and C are all, I guess, objects that you can interact with in different things. But then A are things like the ground and rooms and buildings and all that you can make. And as you can see here, there are different breakdowns. So A1 is animation, so all the tiles within A1 are animated. So they'll be these tiles here. And if you create your own custom one, then it can be bigger or smaller. A2 is ground, so that's the grass tiles and all that, as you can see right there. A3 is building, and that I'll show you later when we create a map, is to make a building. And yeah, so you can see how they work there. And these are all auto tiles. So what auto tiles are, that doesn't really show you there, but an auto tile will, maybe we'd better off showing with this one. An auto tile will fill out automatically. So as you can see right now, that's just, maybe better with this one. As you can see, that's just covered in grass around the edges there. But then as I move that there, the left hand and right hand side of these 2 tiles are not covered in grass, because that's an auto tile. And so you can see they automatically fill out. And yeah, so it's all very interesting. And you can create your own custom tile sets by going back to the database. And we can change the maximum to 7 here. Then here you can fill in your own name and the mode, and fill in your own graphics here. But as you can see, these ones are only the built-in ones here. So how do we import our own ones? Well, we can go to game up here, open folder. Now this is the folder for our current project, and we go to image, and that's titles, tile sets. Now if we created a tile set within our own, within a graphics editing program, all we'd have to do is drag and drop it into here, and then we'll be able to access it in the database. So now that is not all for the tile sets. Here we have the passage. So the doesn't show you there because they're all, if we go down to here, so passage here, as you can see there's X and O on all these, and X is not passable and O is passable. So that just means, can a character walk on top of it or not? And then there's the passage 4 direction, and that just determines what direction the character can walk into this tile. So the 4 direction just means wherever these arrows are, that means the player can pass through that area. And wherever the dots are means that it's impassable. So that means we could, say, untick this one right here. Now our character will be able to walk through this tile from the right hand side. But if we try to walk through, we can walk through on the left hand side, sorry. But if we try to walk through on the right hand side, we'll be blocked and we wouldn't be able to. And then there's ladder, which, as you can see, there's ladder there. That means that when these tiles are placed, our character can walk over solid objects. So they kind of act like a bridge. Bush, that means our character will walk behind, so whatever's marked as bush will be placed in front of our character. Like, in front of our character's feet, I should say. Counter means that we can access events from over a tile. So, just say we have a counter and then a character on the other side. If we walked up and pressed the interact button, we wouldn't actually be interacting with that event because they'll be one tile away. Whereas with the counter, that allows for events that are activated over one tile. They can be activated. That's a little bit hard to explain, but we'll see that in the future. Damage floors allows you to set up things like spikes, so if a character walks over that damage floor, then it will take damage. And terrain tag is just the tag of the terrain, so you can set different tags and then you can reference them through scripting and things like that, which we won't be doing, but you can do all that. And then there's also other stuff in here. So the width and height, that's pretty self-explanatory. That's the width and height of the map. Then we have the scroll top, which is, this means if we walk off, so for instance if we loop horizontally, this means if we walk off to the left or right, we'll end up on the other side of the map again. So just say if our character walked off this side, we'll end up walking back on this side. And so that just allows you to do that. Encounter steps is for if you set up random encounters, think of like Pokemon when you walk into a tall grass. The encounter steps is how often you will encounter an enemy within those areas, which those areas that are set up use regions. So if we set up region 1, then we'll be able to set up a certain type of enemies that we can encounter in region 1, and we do that over here in the encounters. So as you can see, we can set up enemies, and then we can set up a region ID for that enemy. And then we have the music options here. So this just allows us to set a background music, background sounds, and specify a battle back is to change the image of all of our battles for this map. Disable dashing means that we can't sprint. Parallax mappings allows us to load kind of like, say, clouds that can loop from one end of the, they'll travel from left to the right, or left to right, that way. And yes, so that's everything in the maps. And now I guess I'll go some little tips for the map tools. So as you can see here, all we need to do is select the tile here, and then we can left click to paint it. Then there's also the other tools here. Oops. So the circle tool, and then the fill tool, very useful stuff. Then we've got the shadow pen. I showed you all that last time. But then there's also some stuff that people don't know about. So for instance, if we just say come into a tile map here, and just say we want to select this tree, and we don't want to have to click on all of them because that's just unnecessary. What we do is actually left click and hold and drag over that entire thing and select the entire thing. And what you can do on the map is right click to select a tile, and then we can paint using that tile. And you can also left click and sorry, not left click. Let me just get that back. You can, on the map, right click and drag and select just like you would on there. So you have to right click on that one. Okay, so now another little trick that we can do is if we select, just say this dirt tile here, we make a path. Now let's make just a little house here. So, very crappy house. So there we go, we've got a crappy house. Now see this path here? See how it's got a little bit of grass there? Maybe we don't want that. So what we can do is we can shift right click on any part of the tile here, and then shift left click on this part here, and it will replace that part with this part without auto tiling. So it's like a copy and paste tool, and this can be very useful. So yeah, just keep that one in mind. Now, feature in RPG Maker MV is that, unlike in the older RPG Makers, there's an auto layer thing. So if we place a tree here, in the old RPG Maker, if we place another tree here, you get some weird stuff. So you see, if we place a tree there, they overlay. And this can be very useful. They never used to do that, and there would be some weird graphical glitches in the old RPG Makers. So that's a very cool feature. Alright, so one last thing that I want to show you is if we select a tile here, and if we hold down shift and just left click, it will just place a blank the middle tile of that auto tile. So I've never really used that, but I guess you could use that for something. So that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Hope you have enjoyed, and in the next one we'll be going over character creation. So look forward to that.